I've just got here and I think I'm...
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet, to go over everything. They say the time's supposed to heal ya, but I ain't done much healing. Hello, can you hear me? I'm in California dreaming about who we used to be when we were younger and free. I've forgotten how it felt before the world fell at our feet. There's such a difference between us and a million miles. Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done. But when I call, you never seem to be home. Hello from the outside. At least I can see that I've tried to tell you I'm sorry for breaking your heart, but it don't matter. It clearly doesn't tear you apart anymore. Hello, how are you? It's so typical of me to talk about myself. I'm sorry. I hope that you're well. Did you ever make it out of that town where nothing ever happened? It's no secret that the both of us are running out of time. So hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done. But when I call, you never seem to be home.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go over a few things today before, again, this happens all the time. Before I go into my PDF to show how I see three cases that are very similar to each other in regards to the elements that I follow and that I go over and over when I see photos. I was going to go right into the PDF, but there's a lot of photos that I saw today that are very disturbing. And they are photos that I've never seen. These photos I've never seen before. A lot of these close-ups I have never seen before, where Summer's teeth are clean and look like they did when we first, for those of us that have been following this since June 16th, 17th, whenever it was, came across the news, there are particular photos that I know come from the original batch, and I don't know what that even means because many of the photos, as I've pointed out, trust me, if I saw a creator saying the photos were changing, blah, 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 I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? But they do. They do. And I haven't touched any of the photos that you're going to see. I haven't touched any photos that you're looking at. And what happens is they tend to get darker and gloomier and more abusive looking. So I have to go on with these photos now because this is the purest I've seen photos. And then they have a deep fake takes over. And you're going to witness it right now in front of you with this photo. This was very clean. Her hair is on the left side. Things just change. I'm just telling you that I'm not going to waste any moments on watching it because I've done, if you all want to know what I'm talking about, you can go to my previous videos. You could skim through them, to find what I'm talking about, but you actually are witnessing it in front of you. They were very clean looking, and I do believe from my theory that this is the true Summer Wells eyes, and this one makes me very sad. Because some of them I think are very true. Sorry guys, that's just who I am. I feel. And some of them have been played with. But the photos that you see here, I don't get that same feeling with this one particularly, but it is Summer. Beautiful. And there's a whole story. And TBI is reviewing all of the photos that I'm going to show you. I did talk to them, and I finally have real information that they could grasp onto because many of these have never been presented the way I'm going to present them. Now, have we all seen photos similar? Absolutely. But I've always taken the photos and said, and tried to unveil them because I know that it goes in 3 layers, and I was actually able to explain and show the 3 layers. And the rawness of the layer are the photos that I have. And I just know that because I've never seen them before. And if we have seen them before like this, I truly believe that we wouldn't be in all this chaos right now. Before I go into, I broke them down into my elements of fire, water, the car, the car ride, and then another photo that was hidden in 613. This one was Candace and her daughter. Now, some of these photos that I have here, I've never seen before. Maybe you guys have, but I'm just putting up the ones that didn't fit into any of my categories, but they were very interesting to view and to see, because all I've ever seen was horrible photos of Summer not really doing a birthday, but this isn't actually an amazing photo, I feel. I don't know how I've never seen it. I don't ever recall this one, but it might be there. I don't know. This photo, I'm going to present something to you. This photo is a photo that I'm going to show you how it was used to cover up a deep fake. Wait, I'm going to find the other one. Here it is. So now I could show you guys something very interesting. See this? See what Summer is holding in her hand? Now, that is an original, okay? The photos that we see usually are the ones that are covered up, like that horrible looking face doesn't show up. It's like it's covered up. And these are really important photos for the TBI to see, because when we see photos like that, it's not there. But what I see in this photo, usually because of how my eye is trained, I see a lot more and I know what's under there. And sometimes it will show itself as you wait. But this is the first time that I have photos that aren't covered. Aren't covered. This is the horse, and I see what's at the end of the horse, and usually that is all covered up. So these are the extras that I wanted to show you. Like, I've never they just seem very crisp. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here is the one. Okay, let me put this up with it. Let me get rid of those. Here is the one. Not this one. Okay. Shoot. I keep pulling the wrong one. Oh, shoot. That's not it either. Let me get rid of that. I can't find it. I may have just gotten rid of it. So this is just what I wanted to show you before I started going through photos that I have. Now, I don't know. I've seen this boy before. I don't know who this is. And I have seen them in this location many of times. I the location gets a lot of attention from Candace. And I have, going through what I went through today, just has showed me that there's a lot going on, I believe, yes, for sure, at their house. And they do a lot of things at their house. From what I'm going to show you all, I do believe that tree or something is very significant. I'm going to show you the photos that I unveiled. But these didn't fit into any category that I'm gonna go through. So I just sort of wanted to put them out there because I thought they were just sort of interesting to see. Because they're different photos with different viewpoints. And I'm not going to evaluate them, and I'm not going to give my opinion. I'm putting them out there to show you how sometimes I could grab a photo that's in its purest form, in its form before it's been touched or played around with to cover up what they're doing. And I'm quite positive I kind of know what's going on, but it goes very, very, very deep, obviously. I thought this was a really neat photo. It made me feel good to see this one. So, we all feel, lots of dreary stuff, but I do see there are moments in Summer's life that, oh my God, I literally am so emotional. Ugh. That someone did take care of them to put the hats and gloves on them so they could go play in the snow. She's a little girl. And I know that everyone has obviously I have this feeling towards the Wells, but as far as I believe, there is somewhere in there they love their kids. Wow. So I do feel that. So I want to put that out there before I put anything else out there, because I think it's what happens to them, or what is happening to these children, I think is something that they're having a hard time stopping to stop doing, because I think it's embedded in them, especially Candace and Grandis. I feel like it's embedded. I do see a connection. I'm going to show you with Summer and Rosemary Bly for sure. And like John says, history repeats itself, and I think that it's hard for them to stop doing what they're doing. But yet, I feel this strange, very strong love that they do have that they know how to love. It's like a love that they know for their children. So if that makes sense, great. But I know it's just something I feel very strongly. So I am going to start out with showing you a photo that, watching the video, that was snuck right in again, 6:13. And if you go too fast or you go too slow, you're going to miss it. It's very hard to get. So at 6:13, if you don't go really right on it, you're going to get something like this. But if you bring yourself perfectly on 6:13 right in between, that to me is Candace's photo. And it's a very odd photo because I personally think the other side of Candace is her sister, is Rosemary. I haven't done anything with this photo yet. I haven't touched it. I literally just pulled these, and before I went live, I made sure to review them and speak to TBI because I believe that they're that very much of importance. like I think all my stuff's important, but I think that there's something about the creator that creates these, um, that seems to hit smack dab on information that I, for me, 6 months into this, I never seen before. So, which I think is great. Um, this 613 thing is very, very, very telling. And at 614, you get this. So you have to be really, really careful to go to the right thing. And this 614 one is very strange. They're holding really strange things. There's a lot going on in this. And I've really put myself out there for the last 6 months telling everyone what I see, but I think that everyone's going to see this clearly without me saying much, if that makes sense. It's very incriminating, I think. So this was a very interesting find, and it comes real quickly, like it comes in a split second on the screen. So that's that, and I'm gonna keep this one on because I'm gonna see what literally happens to her face, which you already sees going to shift, because that's what happened to Don's, as you see. So this is really the reason I like to go live. First of all, to make sure that I'm not going fucking crazy and seeing something that's really not there. Or am I seeing something that's really there? So I personally like to get it right on as soon as we can online. So this is one I just cropped it for the first time. Let me explain what the cropping does. I find as if when I crop these photos, maybe that's not really how they do it, but I don't have any technology I don't have anything to really decode anything other than figuring it out myself. I figured out that every time I touched these photos, something was happening to them. And that was because I'd look at it one day and the very next, it would be different. And it was really, really tough for me to understand that without thinking I was going nuts. So as you see this photo of Summer, and I showed you very clear photos in the beginning, like even her teeth were beautiful. But as I go on with this presentation, you'll notice I'm not going to stay on this photo though. What happens? And I really full-heartedly believe that Candace's sister is on the other side, because a lot of the advertisements that I have seen it splits screens with Rosemary and Summer. So I'm not really sure what this is going to look like, but I'm going to continue. I'm going to leave that up. I'm going to continue, and I'm going to start with, let me pull that away. I'm going to start with a couple photos of scenes that I have showed before. If anyone has watched my videos, I would pull up saying, okay, I know that they're doing something with the water. This water shit doesn't make sense. That's not really what's in here. This is all cover up, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to show you a few photos that we've never seen before. This is I believe the day that they went to the water. And this is these are going to be photos that are close-ups, them splashing. And I could tell that a lot of the elements in these photos was what was underneath the cover-up. I haven't even pulled half the photos that I can. Now, if in fact it is summer, now all the photos that I have, and I it's just my own feeling. My gut feeling is these were the photos from like her last photos. I'm gonna put them all out there. I'm just gonna keep layering them up with sections. Now, I don't know exactly, but it's the same water. It's the same splash movements. There's a lot going on in this, and it gets really strange. It gets really strange. But to me, this is as real as it gets. As far as them at the water, it gets pretty heavy, and the more I watch the video, the more it does show. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. This one, the face starts to get unrecognizable, and it winds up with those black masks on that face. And here, they wind up looking like this, and then it gets worse. To me, those bobbing heads, and then they wind up with like a black thing over their heads, is the first layer that's under the fake shit that they put out there that happened at the swimming hole. I think that there was no bathing suit, and there may be pants, but there's nothing on the top. And all of that stuff it's very odd. It's placed on them through the deep fake. And I recognize some of the shorts. Like, I'm coming from a place that I know my photos, and I know what I have and what I've seen. And what's going on in this water isn't what meets the eye. The other one that I knew was very strange that everyone has seen is this situation. And I said, they're hanging someone from the bathtub. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's not what it appears to be. And it was in their backyard. But yet I saw tracks like that. I'm showing this to you guys because, believe it or not, these are they take 3 layers. There's a layer to the left, there's a layer to the right, and then there's one in the middle. The one to the left might be the pool in their backyard. The one all the way to the right, actually, I think those are the tracks. And the one in the middle is happening at a different time. They're making it look like he's looking up, but that's not really their sun. And that's getting a little deeper, but I think I'll stay away from that so no one gets lost. The point of this is, if you go look at all the other photos of them swimming in the backyard and having fun with the bathtub, they're not at this location. It shows as if they're in the Wells' backyard. I knew they were never in the backyard because I always saw those tracks. I'm like, that looks like a bridge of some sort. Now, to me, this is truly a location for what some of what they do. And I see that there's that tunnel, and I think that tunnel is a water well. Um, I don't know. I'm actually putting this out there now without even looking to find those locations yet because I know there's so many people on this case that know a lot more than I do as far as like location and where this is, especially people who live in Tennessee and they live in this area. This photo is a horrific photo. It winds up actually him being hung. And these are really, really the most true I have seen, you guys, because I know how hard I've been working to get to that bottom layer, which is that location. And that is some sort of, I don't know what that is, but I think that someone is going to recognize it. I think someone who hopefully watches this will recognize it. Wait, did I show this one? Oh, I did. That's okay. I have a couple more pool ones, but this is not what it appeared to be in the first round of pictures. And like I said, I believe that this is something, some kind of, let me get rid of these back here, some kind of a location that maybe someone will recognize, and maybe when whoever goes there in person, I know that many of you guys are going out there. I'm not. I'm actually going to go towards Michael Vaughan's location and Carlson location. I think that because I think they're all connected, I think that that would give me extremely interesting information if I go. Anyways, this here is another one that's it's at wherever this is, you guys, is crucial. And I see that this has the wood on the ground. It's squaring off something. Their photos they take very strategically. Every photo that Candace takes is very strategic. This one with the little girl in the water is not Summer here. There's a mask on her face. And the photo all the way to the right is, again, if you look closely, these are 3 layers put together. And you could tell better, and you could tell very well, actually, that they're 3 layers, but they're the Ross layers. They're raw layers. Because usually people are like saying to me that I'm putting them over each other. And I'm not. And this is a pretty good photo. There's a lot going on. See what's happening to those, you guys? So that is the water one. Put that away. Or just said the pool. Oh, here's some more of the pool. Like, the thing here is that gun, like that middle section was superimposed in there. That water gun is not really on him, and a lot of this is fake. But let me tell you, if when I look at this photo, my eye goes right to elements that have been there for a while. One of them is at the far right corner of the bathtub. you'll see a white pole going across the grass. That white pole is in every photo at the Wells location. That to me is a pole that is part of what they're doing. It serves a purpose. That white pole is they're sticking out of his house. They're sticking out of holes. They're not plumbing. Y'all could say plumbing all you want. But that white pole is something that helps whatever they're doing. It's part of their equipment. And it's always there. It's always there. And that water is filthy, filthy. There's stuff that goes on in the water. And his photos that they have of the kids in the pool, you guys go look at them. They're not located in the forest like this. Like, it's in, I truly believe that when I hear Summer Wells's spirit telling me in the leaves, and it happens all day long, there's something with the leaves. So that tells me that she's in the leaves on the ground and not like in water somewhere, basically. This is just another interesting photo that I've never seen. I showed you that one. So this is something to keep in mind. I've never, again, everything is very strategically done when it comes to this case. When I say she, Candace is just a strategic player here. She really has a lot to do with it. So now the other thing I found were photos of the car ride. Okay. Now, to me, Summer is wearing the track outfit that we all saw as her last photos in the car, right? So never seen these photos. Now these photos actually look the closest to the car in general, because these photos show that it has a third seat in the middle. Now, I found these obviously in a creator's video, but this to me, she has the tracksuit on because of the green. It's because of the green zipper. You know, they change colors of things, you guys. And when I go really slowly through the video, there's certain pictures that are there, and one of them is this one. Okay? He's wearing that Tennessee zip up, and I believe that's what he was wearing with what's his friggin' name? Dobson, when they said the boys were with him miniature golfing. This, I think, is the same tracksuit. And if you look in this picture, it's very fucking odd. And you could tell, no one's touched it. Like, this is like a photo. Like, this is the clearest. There's a difference, you guys, between her photos that are not clear and they're crystal clear. In the window was this car, a white pickup truck. Now, I haven't done my homework yet because I have so much to go over with you guys. Let me bring the photo. I haven't, wait, hold on one second. I'm on Rance. I'm online. The dog's running down. Will you call for Ollie? I'm closing my door. Sorry about that. I have to let the familia know I'm on. Now, I don't know if this is the same white truck as... It goes fast, but it shows up twice. It's a white pickup. And nothing is by coincidence. So this car does have a middle like that, and it has a little thing sticking out, and there's the white jugs in the trunk. But they obviously, to me, they show a lot of elements that are underneath what I have been trying to present to the country. But it's been difficult. And I know there's a lot more in there. I just haven't, I haven't gone through them all. So this is the tracksuit. And this is why TBI was, I think, I'm hoping pretty excited, because these photos are the closest to the storyboard. And it's that zipper. It's that zipper. And it's the car, it's the whole thing. And it's the fact that we've never seen these pictures before. It's the fact that these have been hidden away. It's the fact that this is new. Like, why? Why would they only be shown in one particular thing and no one else have them? Now this one, to me, shows a location, because you could see right out the window. You could see right out the window. And this here, I don't know where this is, but that's somewhere. And that somewhere is them driving the car. This is when the car was being driven. This is my feeling. I'm not giving, I'm telling you from this new shit that I'm looking at. And they're just new photos, and very interesting photos that kind of go with the storyboard, but yet I've never seen them. Because I think that if they have seen them, I think that TBI would be all over this white truck. I think that has a lot going on here. So that's the car ride. Now, the other photos that I see, they're very strange. But why I find them interesting is because she has the same tracksuit on. Now, her teeth, that is how her teeth look now. In many of the other ones that we've seen, her teeth have been changed due to other children that they're messing with to do a deep fake. But she's got some really funky things going on here. And this is the tracksuit, and I have closer ones, and then she has the gray pants on that TBI's never seen. They've never seen that. There's a lot of good information in here. There's a lot of good, is that the same one? There's a lot of good information in here that proves to show that, this is summer. These are pictures that we've never seen before. And look at her pants. It's the same pants. Don't forget about the color of the jacket, because the color of the jacket, we all know, gets changed. But this makes sense to me because the last photos that I have of her jacket, certain things were coming through on the shoulders, like these white things. And they're the exact same white prints that are in this photo. So this is one that was just in there. Very weird. And then this one just with an arm sticking up. So there's a lot of them in there. And that's the tracksuit that to me that she was wearing the last day. And that's the closest to her teeth that we saw when she was gone. They are sort of a little hidden inside the video, but they're there. And they're not fake to me, and they're not created. They're not photos that have been created. They're just very odd and worth exploring and worth talking about. They just are. You know, so here's this picture. This is the photo of her face before it changes. Showing this to you guys. There's a problem with these. There's a real it's a real lot of information in the way that they present themselves. There's a lot of information in the way that this whole entire thing is being presented. In one sense, it's beautiful, but in another sense, it's a very sad truth behind this. And I think that that's why this case is really bothering everyone, because it's really being protected. It's being protected, and as soon as anyone gets even a little bit close, you're going to get bullied. And people bully because they're protecting each other. And there's no way you should get bullied when there's information being exposed for the sake of a 5-year-old child. And no one should be asking you to take stuff down or blah, 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 blah. Or all of a sudden you get these, I'm never going to do mods, no offense, because the problem is, who are you trusting? You don't know who you're trusting, because there's so many people that are just out there on YouTube specifically to fuck with you, to mess with you. So all they're doing is stopping us from this beautiful little girl's face. It then turns into the one that's on the bottom of the right-hand corner, and they do something with her. And the bottom line is, it's being done over and over and over to hundreds of kids. And the strength of the group is crumbling down. Y'all are going to be crumbled down, because there are many of us now that aren't going to be quiet. And truthfully, there's a lot of us that really don't give a shit about bullying. We're old enough to understand that that's just so stupid, you know. And then there's immature people, you know, that are going to continuously do that. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work. This group is, I'm going to get to my PDF actually. This group protects each other. But your guys are slipping. You guys aren't as smart as you think you are. You all are slipping, and you're slipping quickly. Because, let me see what this is. I'll put a I'm going to start this. I know it's empty right now, but and we have to turn this into a PDF. You're slipping because there's no control. You guys are so quickly trying to cover your asses that you're making errors, and you're trying to produce so quickly to consistently cover up other people's. That's not the one I wanted to put up there. Oh, here it is. You're trying to move so quickly because we're all moving so quickly, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work because you're not going to be able to move as fast as the creators who are eating, sleeping, and drinking the case because they want it. They want to find the end of the case. They want to find why these kids are disappearing. And I'm going to bring to you now what I see in these three cases. Now, it's just my opinion, and it speaks very loudly. These three kids have a similar story. I personally think in my heart that Michael was the one on the swing. I'm going to show you a photo. And I sent those photos to so many people, and I don't know what was done with it, but it's real. Now, why do I think they're all? Thanks to Don, he put this silly little stupid presentation up. Seriously. Sorry, I'm trying to eat. I was like, what a dumb motherfucker. He puts up the photos of all of the faces that he used, children that he probably used, hairstyles that they used, puts it up there. Wait, before I go through it. Like, I've seen all these faces. I've seen all these hairdos. I've seen all those teeth. I've seen those smiles. Because they're in every one of their videos, right? And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to start pulling together these three cases of information. Now, as soon as I pulled together, I realized that the photos that tell the most truth on Summer Wells is on her flyer. The photos that gave me the most truth for Michael are on his flyer. Same with Oakley. Now, it's not that I did that on purpose. I actually Googled for photos, right? They're very similar. They're all very similar. I have a feeling on that, but I'm just showing you that they're similar. Michael Vaughan here, his photos were super easy to look at. The elements on his photos came through quickly. So I started with him first. My first introduction to him was through YouTube. Back May 31st, when I looked at the swing TikTok, I have a video that shows there's just like so many different kids' faces and bodies, and there's so much going on in that TikTok that it makes your mind spin, right? I'm like, that looks so familiar. And people were inboxing saying, have you heard of the Michael Vaughan kid? I think that little boy looks like Michael, and you could tell by his underbite. It's his underbite. And I got a photo. I'm like, oh my God. Because we all know that's not Summer, right? No one's touched that photo. That's the photo. I'm like, I wonder if this is him. I'm like, really couldn't understand why I didn't get a phone call back, or I don't know what they did with it, but you could tell by the underbite, right? You look at it, it just looks just like him. Obviously, he's not swinging on a swing in a flower dress. There's a lot that's going on with that. So then I started looking at his photos, and these are the photos that come up. We all could tell, and you could see that the hair, the eyes, the smiles, they're all different. If you look at his mouth and his eyes and his hair, it's Summer Wells all over again, right? Here's a close up. Here's his different hair, all of his different hairstyles, his eyes. Where's his smiles? Do I have his smiles? Here's his mouth. So the real Michael has an underbite. And these photos are what comes up on his mouth. Now, we all could tell that this isn't all him, but yet they're on his profile and they're part of his photo. And what I thought was really interesting is the one with the blue around its mouth. That reminded me of when they said Summer had a blue slushie. And his mouth in that one is so not him. Those are beautiful lips like they've been done. He has an underbite. These are not the same. And then the tongue thing is a big deal. There's blood coming off the tongue. The tongue, the sticking out of the tongue and what goes on with the tongue is also something of craziness in the Summer Wells case. It's a big one. It's a big one. And this one, he has his tongue sticking out and there's blood coming out of his mouth. Now, I got these from actual photos, right? So I went back to my photos in my swing file, which I haven't, and they're in my Google Doc, and I haven't looked at them in like months. This is what they look like now. So when you all have old photos that you may have put away for 5 months, just like I showed you AB's changed, go back to your old photos, open them up and see what they look like. If you don't do anything today, that is really important to go look back at them. In this one, you could see more clearly in the middle the pointed fingernail, and that little point prick, I believe, is Candace's. This hasn't been touched. This is what it looks like in my Google Doc, literally. This is what it looks like, and I don't know, but this is really what was interesting, that I see Robin. Now that to me is Robin. Okay. Now I can't tell, but it kind of looks like we're watching it through the same frame as we did Summer in the car. There was like a black frame around it. Now that's not my black frame, you guys. That is in the photo itself. So you'll notice in your photos, there's going to be a frame around it. And this is what showed up. All of a sudden, a rat, something, there's like this colored, it almost looked like it was someone's outfit, like it was someone's overalls that were the colored. It's a rat. And there's a rat under Robin. And to me, that speaks volumes. You know, because the only other time I saw that rat, I saw a rat like that in the Rosemary Bly's, a couple of her photos. So I always said Robin has two personalities. Robin is in trouble. Robin knows a lot. Robin has seen a lot. This is also what came up in Michael's photos. A red pickup truck was in the back of one of his photos. This is right before he went missing. Now this photo has a symbol in it because his bottom of his earlobe is very strange. So whoever took this photo wanted to take a photo of that. A red pickup truck with something in the back. Now, if you listen to yourself and say the photos aren't taken on, that's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. And I'm going to look more into that to see if there's more photos with like that. But I see that in Grandis's photos. I showed it last week. I could pull it up again when I'm done with this. As she's being interviewed and talking about her daughter's disappearance, that same red Toyota truck shows up her whole ride as if it stays in the window. And it's so obvious that it was placed in the window because no one keeps passing the same truck. And it's just like that. It's a bright color though. So I personally think that the Toyota truck, that old Toyota truck, is like a car that's been here since Rosemary Bly's disappearance. That's his ear. That's what it looks like. So back to Michael. So I have to still fill this page out because I got totally distracted with the other photos. So I'm putting that one to the side. Here's some more photos of, now that those photos even look like him, but these are photos. You guys could find them yourself. They're all on Google. And this is what shows up. An M, those things just show up. I don't know what they are. An A. All of this shows up in his photos, you guys. Not doing anything to them. You have to understand I'm not doing anything to them. You could find them yourself. It's just literally, it just takes time to do it. This is another picture of Michael. In his leg is a 5 and a 2. His finger is a very long finger with an adult. Number 6, I believe it's a number 6. I don't know on his finger. I couldn't tell. But his leg, his pant leg, and his shoelaces, and that shadow of the hand are all elements that I look for because they have spoken all through Summer Wells's case. The kids' shoes and their shoelaces and their clothing, everything gives a message. But this one is really, the ones I'm now going to pull up are going to be the ones that are crystal clear. Especially when you could tell that his pant leg was messed with, because the pant leg doesn't look like that. And then his laces, one's different from the other. I don't know what it means, but it's just there. This is another picture of Michael. There's a V, and his hair is got the same thing going on. There's like crazy loony things going on with his hair. His ear, and that's it. Like, I just wanted to show all that. And the elements in his hair. I mean, I'm not going to go deeper than that. The ones who have been watching and understanding get what they're looking at, basically. Here is a different photo of Michael. So number 5 to me was Don Wells, number 5, Don the Clown. And when these kids have a particular something sticking out of their neck, that's something to be aware of. So Michael Vaughan, he had these photos. This is the tongue thing, and it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. Now, I don't know if they're his parents, if they're his step parents. I haven't done my investigating. But this photo, obviously his father's, whoever he is, beard's fake. And he's got the girl fingernail with the pink polish. So I have to ask myself, why would he have that nail with the pink polish and her hair look like that? And the fingers look the way that they do. I mean, it's a woman's pink nail polish finger on that guy who, would never have that. Especially when it is it's a complete 100% element that I look for. So that's what I have on Michael, even though I have a lot. I'm gonna go there. This is Oakley. Oakley's actually has a lot more than I thought it would. Now, I know she went through a couple different sets of parents. I still have to do investigating, but this one is also open and current. Now, this is interesting. This family has 300 acres owned by the couple. They are, I believe, in jail, but it goes deeper than the parents who had them. Whoever had the child first actually is who I have most of the information on. The one who's crying and asking to find her, she actually and the father actually have most of the elements on them. So this family, and it's a lot of property. It's 300 acres, and it sort of looks and reminds me of the Wells. It's a lot going on over here. It'd definitely be something I'd like to look at. So this is just what it looks like. A little bit of an insight. I'm going to do some more investigating, but I look to see what whatever images, but there aren't many. Her teeth. All of her teeth in the photos have been edited. The finger, her finger, the little child's finger is on, I believe those were her foster parents. I think they're her foster parents. And then she was given to the set of parents, I believe, that are in that they're in jail. But I don't know if she's as, I'd be curious to see her story, because there's a lot of elements. There are a lot of elements here that prove to me something is going on. Especially this one with the blood in the ear and on the side of the head. It shows a lot of elements that I look for specifically. This was a really weird photo. Things are starting to appear through her clothing, all the way in the back. I didn't want to start blowing stuff up again. His finger is another indication of what their fingers look like, and it just speaks a lot. There's something not right with this. I know that there's something wrong with this photo because I know my intuition. Now, here's the inside of her house. Many photos are taken in the kitchen between this group and the other group and the really, really, really well-known families that are on YouTube, have millions of people watching them and following them. They have the exact same pictures. They have the exact same equipment. Now, in the back of, in this photo, you have jugs. You have a lot of the same elements. This child has like a metal thing that's wrapped around the back end of her neck. And they aren't coincidences. This child it's bad. So here in the background, that blue jug, believe it or not, the stuff in the background that you see is equipment that shows up in all of these cases. In all the cases. Here it is. They have a familiar same look to it and style. It's equipment. I don't even know what else to say because I don't know much about it. It's the equipment that they're using. Here's a little girl. This is a very hard one to see, but right by her ponytail it's that red jug with the tube coming out of it. I don't know if you guys could see that well. It's a hard one. Okay, so this is on their property. I don't like this. I think that this reminds me very much of stuff that I see in the Wells. This little girl, her fingers are all messed up. She's posing for something, but it's what I see in the background. It's yeah, I know that they have hidden shelters and blah blah blah, and people go there for storms, but this isn't that. This is different. This has a bright light. It's the same. It's the same stuff that I see in the background of the wells. This is something that I've already sent to them that really needs to be looked into. This to me can be an underground. They haven't found her yet. I think that she's on their property somewhere. Tells a lot. She also shows now it's not the white that you're following. I put the white lines right by the tubes. Those tubes are also a major element. Summer has that tube in her hand with her fingers, and that is also the same. The upper left hand picture to me is the same as we saw in the car when Summer is holding some sort of a tubing in her finger, and it's actually against a wall like that. It's the same thing in the car. This little girl has the same tubing connected, and it goes around her thumb, and she's holding that kind of a tube. Now, the bottom middle with that mouth that has the tube in it is holding the same mechanism. It's the same mechanism. And there's a lot that goes on in these photos with this little girl. This little girl has a lot more information than Michael. It was like a free-for-all. It was like, just let's put photos out because no one's going to notice kind of a thing, but gonna notice. Before we jump to that, so that is where I see both of these. I see all three of these cases coming together and having the same elements. They have the same story. These kids seem to have this, especially this little girl, gone from one family to the next, but it's as if the elements started when she was little and followed her. And she wound up in the hands of a family that had that 300 acres, and whatever happened. So if this is the same kind of a story and it happened on the 300 acres, I venture to believe there's more than one body that would be on her property. They got to dig for it. But let me show you what I found in the summer wells here. I went back to the leaves and the trees, so that's all. That's what I have to show on that side. I'm going to just now point out a few more things about Summer's case. I went back to the trees and the leaves and some pictures that didn't make sense to me. This is the crazy photo that, do I have a selfie? No. This is a crazy photo that Candace took of her husband next to this tree. Now, next to the tree, in the ground, I zoomed in. That's all I did was zoom in. And there were those in the ground. Now, this tree, I'm assuming, I don't know if this is Summer's tree or where this is, but sometimes it looks like there's water in the back. So obviously we don't know much about their property. But this looks like an area they sit all the time. There's the jugs in the ground, and there's tubes that go under the ground and they go up through the tree. Now, this is what the tree looks like when you go closer to, where's Don? Okay, here, let me just show you this. This is the photo. This is the exact photo, untouched, behind you. I'm like, a few months ago, I was saying, what if they're in the tree? What if she's putting shit in the tree? Because that to me is like a open, I don't know, open tree. And I'm like, why would she take a picture of it? Because every time Candace takes a picture of something, there's a reason for it. Chris doesn't take a picture of herself. And she had 3 or 4 plus photos. So I blew it up and I went closer to it. And first came the jugs. And It's very symbolic. It's very symbolic. I think that this tree should be um, reviewed and looked at. There is a lot of symbolism in this tree. Um, a lot. There's a lot going on inside this tree, and it would make a lot of sense to me. And now I put these little dots there because right above the two dots, you'll see a 5, the number 5, which I think is Don. And then above the two dots there, I don't know if it's a U. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a B. It's a B under the two dots. The middle one, I put the dots on the B, an accident, but it's under the B on the right side. And then I also see an A. So, like, there's a lot going on in this tree. And to me, it's not out of question. It's like, it's not stretching too far to think that she keeps tokens. Like, I think that Candace is just very odd. She's very odd. And I think that once this case is broken open, I think that they're going to be like one of those crazy cases, this crazy case. Why did I put this here? Oh, it's just a weird photo. I just wanted to show you how the red is all over her neck. Like, these are just weird photos to me. So, and that chalk, I just put them in there just to show you guys. Okay, here's a closer picture of her with the tube and her fingernails. And this is, to me, where she was laying and not the car, because I have way too many photos that show that it looks like a black rim. And I think people look in. I think that sometimes it reflects, but they're definitely being given something through some sort of a tube. That's for sure. You guys, this photo of her and Robin is totally fake. It's totally fake. Robin isn't even in the same location as Summer during this photo. It's just not even in the same location. And what's up with the 3 fingers and there's like no 4th finger and there's like a B on her arm, under her fingernail. Like this, I never noticed that before. And then I wanted to show you Summer's mouth. But Robin isn't even with her. Robin is, to me, such a guilty party that she's just told too many crazy stories. Like, their arms don't match together. These just doesn't make any sense. Her teeth are all messed up in the photo. That's a fake ring. They superimposed her finger. I mean, it's just the whole situation of this picture is wrong. It's wrong. And she put a whole storyboard together and it's not true. Oh, this one I want to show you her teeth. Let me go back to the other ones. So Robin, to me, is really, really on the radar. There's, to me, a lot of indication about Robin, especially when I've heard her speak lately. It's just very strange. Go look through your pictures, that if you guys have them, of the trees, and see if you see any sort of clues, any kind of symbolism that is stuck in there. Is super important. But this is the one that really stuck out, was that white. Like, I really wonder if that's really under there. because no one has found anything yet, no one has found anything yet. They haven't located anything yet, and it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. So the photos that I'm going to go through a lot more photos. I'm looking for the one that we just clipped. I'm gonna reevaluate a lot of the things that I found to see what matches together and what pictures basically go together. There's some photos that are covered and some aren't. So this is the photo that it looks like before that shows up, that's not at the 613. Let me show you. This is what I'll leave you with. This is the photo that's somewhere else in the video, and if you sit right on 613, literally right on 613, let me get the big one. This is what you're going to get. That to me is the most remarkable piece of evidence, literally, because these are the same. They should be the same photo. And it's hard to look at because her beautiful soft face, let me put them side by side, is changes. And that is exactly what I have been looking at for the last 9 months, 6 months. I don't even know why I said 9. Is that. And my point here today, other than showing you that these cases are familiar to each other, is to show you that photo up in the left-hand corner is the purest, cleanest photo that I have seen throughout this whole entire 6 months that has changed. So my question is, are they making it look like they put her through this and they didn't? Or did they really? I think they really did, but I don't understand how an exact photo how they would take a same photo, this just proves that they changed it or added something to her face. It's just not, it's very strange. And I think that that's Rosemary Bly in the back. It's half summer, and I don't know, because I'm going to look at the other pictures. All right, guys, I really wanted to get this out there. I really really hope it helps. I am going to put one of my very favorite photos up here to close with, because I want to close with it. It just so brings tears to my eyes. This one. That's really crazy one. Really crazy. It's beautiful. All right, y'all. Thank you so very much. I hope I brought some sort of new information that helps the case. That's the goal. And take this, use it, abuse it. Look further into it, but I gave as much as I can. All right, y'all. Thank you so much and have a great Tuesday night. Bye-bye.